Hi, friends, this is Pallavi Mohan, and today's topic is marketing a key to success before and after pandemic. Well, a little introduction about myself. I have close to 20 years of international experience, worked in various companies, and also taught in various organizations. So, this is how I had contributed. Let's see the places where I've contributed and the institutes. These are the places where I have contributed. These are the institutes, and these are some of the recordings which are there, close to 100 in number. This is where I got my education, three countries: Africa, India, and United States of America. In Nigeria, I did my nursery. The majority of education was in India, which was from first class to first MBA. The second master's was in New York, which was basically in digital marketing. Some people also call it new age marketing and direct marketing, but it's very crucial and very important. Let's go to the next slide. Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Jio, Facebook, all these were a win-win deal, and it happened during pandemic. So it's not that deals do not happen because of a virus, it is the way you make it happen. There were a lot of companies which did not do a deal, but whatever best they could, they did, which was training. It's really crucial that all the employees are trained very well so that whenever the market is open, they are all ready. Be it automation, be it training for a sales program of an automobile, a lot of companies were concentrating on that, especially the automobile industry. What should be done now that the market is open? Well, we already spoke about the automation and sales. Let's concentrate on marketing. Yes, ATL, BTL, and TTL. Basically, also contributing the digital marketing bit into it. PR, technology, CSR, and training. They all will be contributing to marketing needs. So every company now will be having a different kind of a goal and KRAs which will be pertaining to the marketing department, to other departments as well. In this episode, we will be concentrating only in marketing and those which are related to marketing. Moving to the next. Digital, PR, and AM. Now, when we say AM, it is basically alliance deals, which are a kind of marketing which not only gets the brand value up, but also increases the revenue in any organization. I'll be taking the recent most examples which I had done, which was a real estate company called DLF. In past, I have worked in cafe coffee day, so I'll give you example from that place as well. So now in DLF, a win-win situation was they were into residential, commercial, retail, and golf. Now at all the locations, what is required is fiber, mobility, and DTH. Well, if any organization has to really buy fiber, it will be really costly. But the alliance deal is you reach out to Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, or a common company called Indus, and they put the entire fiber for you. So in this case, the alliance deal fetched us round about 100 crores worth of fiber, which is a great amount of saving for the company. And plus, they also gave us a check which was running into crores. Now, why did they give us? It is important to understand because a lot of real estate companies can do that in their respective organizations. Now, every deal which Airtel, Jio, or Vodafone, the telecom industry, do is because of the ARPU calculation, that is rate per unit. Now, for example, my mobile bill would be close to 500 per month, and I'm sure same is the case with you. Now, if you calculate how much in a year and then how many people are there in one residential building or one commercial building or those who are coming to clubs or golf, it's a huge number. Now the calculation is based on that, and these companies earn in huge amount, out of which we take only a small percentage. So this is a alliance deal. Earlier these companies were actually showing it as if it's a profit only to the real estate when they are putting any structures in our unit. But just remember, they are putting it only because we have the luxury units. If the luxury units were not there, or the complete setup of retail, residential, or commercial is not there, they will not get that many people. So they will not invest in that particular unit. So it's important to understand that you have to ask them to put the entire setup so that they have a better control and the real estate agency can save money. At the same time, they are having ARPU calculation. So they are the one who are taking money from the customer. So in that case, you should be taking a particular share. Another third angle is electricity. Whenever these towers are put in, they are called cow, which is cell on wheel, not the other cow. They are called GBM, ground based monopole. All this requires electricity. You should be charging these telecoms for that as well because it's a huge cost. It is close to around about 10 to 15,000 rupees per place. So if you have multiple places, the monthly rent would be running into huge quantities, huge amount. Thus, it has to be paid by the telecom. So whenever you are signing an agreement, definitely ensure that all the fiber, all the processes, all the technology, every cost would be borne by the telecom. The amount which they are generating from our residents or our commercial partners or our retail partners, they have to give a share on that. And the third is the general maintenance and electricity cost. So that's a alliance deal wherein the telecom definitely, they make a lot of money. That's the reason why they're paying you. So it's a win-win. They are earning and so are we. So that is one alliance deal. So this is one example. So I'll just show you in the presentation. So this is residential, commercial, retail. When I spoke about it was fiber, mobility and DTH. DTH is particularly for Airtel. And the units are called cow, MIMO-DAS, ARPU calculations. MIMO-DAS is the latest technology which is multiple input, multiple output devices so that you do not get a call drop. You're able to hear conversation clearly, and in a commercial standard, you definitely need that kind of a structure. So that was one kind of alliance deal which we did. In current scenario also, various companies can think of alliance deals so that it's a win-win for both. Another example is Cafe Coffee Day, which is very close to my heart. Now, this was some 10 years back when Cafe Coffee Day, anybody coming to a Cafe Coffee Day or a cafe sits there for around about say 40 to 50 minutes. Why? Because when you're having a cup of coffee, it's not that you completely gulp and go. It is you're coming there maybe to take an interview, maybe for a meeting, maybe just for a chit chat, or maybe it's a adda for you and you all friends club up and be there. Now, when you are at that particular outlet, definitely you will be looking around as to what's going on. You will see what's there on your table. So any company advertising in that particular space gets the number of eyeballs. So for example, if there's a Samsung phone and a creator of it is there on the table, while a person has placed the order, it takes a little while. So a promoter can reach out to you and say, could I please explain about the phone device so that in case you are interested, you can then buy it. Or else maybe a Airtel advertisement which is there on the wall. If it's there on the main road, right people may or may not see it. But if it's there right in front of you on the wall, you might have an attraction to see, read what it is while sipping up your cup of coffee or eating something or just having a discussion. So Cafe Coffee Day made a lot of such alliance deals and took advantage of their space. And it was divided into various categories. So companies like those who want to reach out to officials will be targeting those cafes which are in the commercial space. And those who are concentrating on students and kids will be concentrating on school areas. So this is how the alliances is divided. So this is a very nice example. I particularly took two so that we could quickly discuss and move on to the next topic, which is digital marketing score. Now, I did this for one particular company. Now, whenever you talk about the digital space, definitely one has to ensure that a complete set of team is there. When you're putting YouTube videos or you're putting Facebook, LinkedIn, somebody has to continuously monitor and increase the number. If the number is increased in a decent way, the branding is really awesome and the revenue could be generated using the same channel, because digital marketing is not about just branding. It is first step is branding and then it goes on to sales. So it is a very good tool because a lot of people are there online. So one has to shift your marketing tools towards digital marketing. That's not the only tool, but yes, it's a very important tool. Next, we move on to corporate social responsibility. Now, this is just one example of Samsung. In various countries, there used to be different examples with different companies. Samsung, what's an example was in Nepal, there were earthquakes one after the other. Although Samsung had a rule of putting only money in this category, which was education, employability, healthcare, and sports, but it moved a particular chunk into this particular area. A lot of companies during the COVID pandemic has also done that. So that should be advertised. Why? One should know about it. People around should know what you're doing, what your company is doing, good deed for people, and also those people who are in need can take the services. So definitely this particular portion has to be marketed. So one has to remember that whenever one is doing corporate social responsibility, some portion of it needs to be marketed so that the people can take good advantage of it. Training we already spoke about. Let's move on to the PR. I think we missed it before, but yes, here it is. Now in PR is a very good way of marketing. Why? You really don't have to pay the advertising cost. Now there's a thin line between advertising and PR. For example, if I place an ad that say the product is Samsung phone. Now if I place an ad, I have to pay for that ad. And also I'm saying that the phone is good. So definitely I would say good about my product or service. But if a journalist writes about your product, then that people count a lot. Why? Because somebody else is praising the device. So in this case, in Samsung, in 4 countries where I used to, contribute towards PR, we used to ensure that we get the message across to the right journalist, and they will then write about the product. When they write it, it is 10 times more taken by any customer, and the PR value, for example, a full page ad comes in or a half page ad comes in as a news, it is not a paid promotion. It is basically a journalist is writing about the product. So you can give him the pictures which he wants, or you can give him the information as to how much pixel, what it can do, what is the unique factors and information about the product, and the journalist will write it down. When the journalists write down, they do a lot of research before doing that. So they have a syndicated research study. So they not only do your product, but there are various products which they talk about. So when they write an article, they will say, okay, Samsung is number one. Why? Because maybe the cost, the salient features, then another company details about that, and the third company again details about that. So a customer would get an overall view and then take a call. So this is a nicer way when the syndicated research is there, the PR value is there, and you can definitely take advantage of it. So this we had done it during Samsung. There were other companies as well, which is like, for example, in DLF we had done a golf tournament, and there it was earlier a 2 lakh kind of a PR value. We turned it into 2 crores. The only difference was that whenever there's an international event, PR and media of all the countries come. If you are capable of reaching out in terms of digital media to them, the tweets and the retweets, they reach to such extent that you get huge mileage in terms of PR. So whenever there's an international marketing involved, it has to be done very, very strategically, be it PR or be it digital marketing. So that was the case in DLF. Just one example where it turned from 2 lakh to 2 crore, which is a huge number, so to say, as an example of the industry. The next is Cafe Coffee Day. Now, Cafe Coffee Day never had a budget of marketing or PR, so to say, not a very huge one, a very small, minuscule. Why? Because that was the only cafe chain at that time, say 10 years back. And we used to promote it in various different ways. Firstly, the alliance, which I spoke about. So, we used to ask the other company to promote. So, when they are promoting their product in Cafe Coffee Day, automatically we get covered. If there's a movie which is happening, a particular scene which is happening, although we are taking a huge amount from the movie industry and we are getting covered in it. So it's a form of advertising which is free. PR, media, a lot of journalists are writing about it and it is all free. So you have to consider those options which are readily available. Do something good which will, help the people, at the same time cover about your company. So these are few of the ways which you can practice in marketing, and then concentrate detail on detail stepwise so that you can reach to the success. That's all for today. Thanks for now.